that look like? All right, so wrapping it up with plan your future. So today is going to be a combination of a little bit of everything that we took away from, right? And we're going to play some, I think there's some role play that we can do, and we're definitely going to hit these contracts as one of our enrichment activities, okay? So let's see. All right, so we know that you're going to understand the importance today. Sorry, let me back up. You're going to understand we're going to understand the importance of running a smart money business, and we're going to talk about where those dollars go. Okay, that's one thing we're going to do today. We're going to talk about your big why. We're going to talk about your motivation. You know how when you talk to clients, we talk about how you stay on motivation? That's the exact same thing the big why does for you, right? It's a big why because it's your big life, okay? What we've learned is that there's lead gen, lean follow-up, and it leads to a transaction, right? And it's so much more than those things, right? Lead generation is what, Ron? What is lead generation?
Generating leads.
How? How do you do it?
Calling, following up, staying top of mind.
Staying top of mind, following up, calling, prospecting. What do you got, Ray?
What does it say? Prospecting and marketing.
Prospecting and marketing really lives in heavy here. Follow up is maintenance of your business, right? Following up with leads, following up with appointments you've gone on, following up with people to see if you can get them into a category. And then we transact with them. And hopefully we do a great job after what we learned this week. And we put them right back into the follow-up, right? We've generated it. It's ours to keep, it's ours to lose. Okay. Oh, let's see. So today, set your sights on a big future. Have a smart money business, commit to the success system for life, plan for learning, and design your future plan. All right, who wants to read for me?
How you think matters. How you think in the beginning really matters.
True or false?
True.
Why?
About the mindset.
And if you start with a healthy mindset, you don't have to unlearn bad habits, right? Yeah. What are the two things you can control?
Our mind.
Your mind, how you think of things. And what's the other one? Your activity, what you do with it, right? The job. Those are the only two things you control. Jackson, can you control your client? Susan, can you control the inventory? No. But what you can control is how you think about things and what you do with that, and how you show up and how you act. All right, so mindset matters, okay? I'll tell you what's funny is when I first stepped into this role, I was like, why are we talking about mindset so much, right? I was like, let's just get to it, because I was ready to take over, take charge, and just get going. And then I realized that when we don't have the right mindset going into anything, we are doomed for failure, right? Susan, you help students with dissertations. Used to. She's a full-time real estate agent these days, right? More full-time here than there. When they come to you, does their mindset affect how you can effectively work with them? Yes. Tell me a little bit more about that.
If they think that they can't do it, they actually freak themselves out, and it ends up delaying them finishing. If I can convince them that if they follow the steps, they'll get there, and take small bites instead of trying to think of it as one big mountain, then they can actually make progress.
Interesting, right? What?
That sounds like you.
Sounds like me, because we're cut from the same cloth here. We're teaching, we're educating, we're encouraging, inspiring, I hope, right? I know you are for sure, right? So I don't know really what else to say to that, but you guys get it, right? What will stop you, where you will hide, is in non-activity and mediocrity. That's where you're going to hide. What's going to stop you is that fear of not looking good, the fear of being wrong, the fear of not being successful. And I hate to say that, right? Like, Ray, if I'm like, are you afraid? You're going to be combative. You're going to be like, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of anything, right? I understand that. I've been that person. I am afraid of the dark, though. I will be really honest. I don't like the dark outside of my house. But when you think about it, we are afraid of those things because that's fear is what's stopping us, right? But when you do like what Susan said, and you don't look at the big picture and you take it piece by piece, you learn it, which is why Ignite is a successful foundational business plan, right? It starts here and you start building. Susan, you've been in the business already. You had a deal or two. You've had things going on, but this still laid some foundation pieces and filled the gaps, right? Do you think your clients are thinking any different? Is this not a very overwhelming thing for these clients? Super overwhelming. So wouldn't you take that same mindset and wouldn't that matter to them? So if you've got that mindset of a seller who is combative, is afraid, is fearful, is overwhelmed, we know how they're going to show up, right? So taking what we need to do to get through it is the same thing that they need to do to get through it, right? So I want you to take a second. Is there in your book, is there like a note section for this? I didn't look at the handout part. Where it leads these questions. Let's be thoughtful for a moment and take this. What's your mindset currently, today, right now? Is it I'm tired? Is it I picked a really bad month to go dry? Is it if I have to listen to her talk one more time, I don't know what I'm gonna do, right? Sorry, this just went all wonky. Oh no, you guys are gonna see everything we're gonna talk about today. I'm almost there. Mindset battle. Phew. Just pretend that you didn't see any of that. What page is that one on?
3.
3? All right. On page 3. What is your current mindset? Take a minute to write that down. Are you aligned with your heart? And then are you ready to take action to have a successful day? That's that ready of the ready, willing, and able. You're all able, you're here. You say you're willing, you showed up. Are you ready? Who wants to share? Me. You do? What do you got? My most favorite thing ever. I'm not going to make anybody share, but I would love to hear where somebody's mindset and if they're in alignment.
My mindset is I'm tired, but I'm excited and hopeful. So
Tired doesn't necessarily mean bad, right? But just remember, whatever you say you are follows you. If you say I am tired, you're nothing but tired. If you say I'm energetic and I'm ready to go and I'm excited and hopeful, then you are, right? What else? Thank you. Right.
I don't have it written down yet, but my mindset right now is I'm positive, I'm optimistic. I truly do feel that I am made for this. But at the same time, I'm overwhelmed. So I'm definitely focused on trying to not be. Like that's my mindset right now. Trying to find the things that are overwhelming me and remove those so I can move forward. But focusing on my strengths. My strengths are.
Lean into those. Lean into where you get energy. Lean into that. Who else is feeling overwhelmed? Don't be shy.
I feel frustrated
Yeah.
because so I still work like part-time, but it's pretty much all my days from like after I'm done here, I go to work and my night shift is pretty long. But then I have my baby in the morning and then I have work at night and then I do these two. So I'm trying to have more time. And as I was talking to Ray the other day and I was like, I have a lot of time when it's like, when my baby falls asleep, I can do a lot of things, but I cannot text people at that time. I cannot connect with them. I probably can post the stuff, but are they really gonna see it? I don't know, at 11, 12, 1 a.m.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So
And start thinking about the things you can do that aren't time sensitive, like preparing things, preparing marketing materials, taking that post that you want to and set schedules so that it sends at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? You can schedule your posts to go out.
I need to work on that because I thought about it. I was like, what if I just prepare the night before and just say post it at, I don't know, 9 in the morning.
So that's where you get to leverage the technology that you can get comfortable with to do that. Setting up smart plans, making sure everybody's getting the things, start developing those newsletters. So yeah, there's a ton of work you can do during that time, right? So then that correspondence goes out so that during the normal hours, you can easily reply back. There's a way to get around it, for sure.
It's
You got
just,
a lot
I
going
said, like, I don't know how to manage that yet, so I feel kind of like frustrated because I want to do things, but it's just, okay, my time is, like yesterday, it was like 1 a.m. and I was working on this.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't know where to start though, but
That's
I
okay.
figured it out. And
Would you
then I
believe
asked
me if I
Erica
say it
and
gets easier?
Susan all the time.
Would you believe me if I tell you it gets easier with time?
Yes.
It does. It will get easier with time. You're in a different season of life than say I am, or Ron is, or Susan is, right? You and Erica are kind of looking very similar, right? So there's more than enough time to get all the things done that you need to get done and want to get done. And it's just a matter of living in that chaos and taking that overwhelmed and just making it whelmed. Right? Like what is the things we can get rid of? If I'm being honest, I was very overwhelmed last night. I didn't get done working until 8 o'clock, like still returning calls and emails and got involved in somebody's transaction. It was a mess, right? And so we will have seasons of overwhelmed and it's just like, it just won't stop, right? And then you'll have the next day will be like sunshine and rainbows. You just got to get it one more day, one activity plus one. I say it all the time. What does plus one mean to you? It's 1 more hour at the office, 1 more dial, 1 more yes, 1 more no to get to that yes, 1 more contract, 1 more post, right? Cool. Anybody else want to share before we keep going? You seem awful thoughtful.
I just, hearing everybody else's what mindset is really helps me out though too, because I'm like, I'm there, I'm the same, you know what I mean? So it doesn't feel like you're alone in it.
And that's the part of the sharing. Agents helping agents, ahas. It's so that Eric knows that Ron's in the same boat. Eric's tired too, Ron.
I
She was
didn't,
real tired.
you know, with the people with the part-time thing, you know, I recently applied out to the airport, so I'm doing that part, but I have to do like 30 hours of online stuff too, like in the next 2 weeks. So I've been up till midnight, 12:30 the last couple nights doing all that too, so I understand. So
I mean, I always gone to bed pretty late, but it's just the fact that that's my time for me, like to either watch a
yeah,
TV show or do these or do that, and that's my me time. So that's when I can seriously like sit down and create a post or review something or read the book that I'm reading. So it's just like, that's my own time, but that time maybe doesn't match to other people, like normal people's time, you know?
Yeah,
So-
but how many other youths are out there that need your help? How many other moms are trying to buy houses and do this stuff and they can't call an agent at 1 o'clock in the morning? I'm not saying that you need to start calling people at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm saying
I
there's
won't.
more youths out there, right? And don't set that tone for yourself. It's very interesting because I've had a lot of conversations with our agents in coaching that are in that dual career not dual career, second tier of coaching where we have a little more accountability and we meet more and more. There is no perfect work-life balance. And if there is, I haven't gotten there yet. So don't follow me for advice. But what there is counterbalance between. I told you I need you to produce so I can get new pins, all right? I'm telling you again. Work and life. And it goes like this. Right? You guys can see that. You get out of whack, right? And the idea is to take these outliers and bring it in a little more. It's a counterbalance. That's all you got. It's a counterbalance, right? And sometimes you're gonna rock at being a dad. And sometimes you're gonna rock at being a listing agent. And you're gonna suck at everything else, right? And that's okay because this is life. As long as you don't just stay on one side of it. Bring it back in, right? If you've got family, make time for them. That should be on your calendar first. The most important things are on there first. If you've got dogs, make time for them. My dogs are super angry at me right now because I haven't walked them because it's cold outside. I haven't walked them and I haven't loved on them appropriately. I come home and I'm like, don't even touch me, right? I'm not being a good dog mom, but I tell you what, I'm being a stellar mom. I've got a sick kid at home right now, right? And I'm doing here and I'm showing up as best I can here, but don't you feel like I'm not giving you guys all of it? I'm not giving them all of it. You guys can see where I'm going with this, right? You just got to keep it in check and know that sometimes you're gonna be 80% over here, and it's okay, as long as you don't stay over there. Is that fair?
I think the thing that is, right now is that there is so much to learn and there's so much time you have to put into learning it, that is what makes you feel overwhelmed, makes me feel overwhelmed. There's just so much more that I need to know, but you're doing the job at the same time. So you're building the plane while it's flying.
Yeah, that's a
And
great way to say that.
that has, that has an overwhelming feel. But I think that if you make that commitment, you say, I'm gonna show up one more day, every morning, you make that commitment, okay, I'm gonna do this anyway. Then if you follow the steps, eventually you're going to get there where it's not as much, I have to learn all this. There's always stuff to learn, but it's not so overwhelming. That's what I'm looking forward to, is that eventually a lot of the things that are taking me a lot of time right now are not gonna take as much time. The first time that I wrote the offer paperwork, just like took me forever. I wrote one last night in 30 minutes. So
Okay.
I feel like,
So Dr. Rote, we're in this, we're invested, Susan.
no, but I was prepared if he did.
Okay,
And I'm still prepared. He's still, he has still, I will be prepared when it's there.
okay.
But now it's so much easier and I don't have to ask somebody to look over my shoulder and see if I'm doing
Because
it
you
right.
know, you feel confident with it.
And I've also got a template now that I saved from the first one, so I know, all the stuff going. But I understand it better now too. When I first, just didn't even understand the language.
Because there's so much, you've learned so much and you're like, I don't even know where to start. Yeah,
Mhm.
and look at where you are now. And I think that's where I want you guys to be proud of the successes. Right? Like, look how far you've come. We've got people in here doing business. We've got somebody who put a house on the market that previously didn't sell and got it under contract in a day. We've got somebody who wrote an offer on an investment property that he found online that actually works for him, got the offer. We've got Jackson here, Big Cat over here with $1 million listing coming. We got Erica over here with 2019. It's going from 100 down. Lots that she's gonna sell for somebody. We've got Eric who is up and ready to go. We've got Susan with the doctor. And we've got Camila who is about to have 2 hours of her life back to go do this. That's impressive, guys. Did I leave anybody out? I think I got you all, didn't I? I think I got you. All right, so let's talk about this value proposition again. We wrote it down, didn't we? All right, today is very reflective. There's not as much content that I'm gonna scream at you and lecture you. I want you to talk with me. All right, so does my value proposition truly reflect who I am, the value I bring, and the benefit my client will experience working with me? Does it? What's missing? If you've got your value proposition, go ahead and scroll back to that page. Take a look at it. I'll give you a minute.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. It was in the first, second day? Second or third day we were in session? Go back to it, take a look. Are you confident sharing that value with your contacts? If not, how can we make it easier to express your value? Susan, would you care to read yours? I do like yours a lot.
When I work with clients, I help them understand, it may have been edited when I sent it to you. 'cause this
I
was
think
my
you did.
original.
I was like, that doesn't sound the same already.
When I work with clients, I help them understand the market and prepare them by helping them know what to expect through the buying and selling process. I communicate any information I have immediately and follow through and follow up on all tasks to take some of the stress out of their journey.
You cleaned it up. No, the one you presented to me was a little,
I was just
better articulated. Well, yeah, that was your draft. All right, so today, does your value proposition speak the same truth about you? The best way to do it is short, concise, direct to the point, say everything you're trying to say in the least amount of words possible. Ron, are you still looking for yours?
Yeah, I don't know where it's at.
What page is that? Section,
111.
section 4. Okay, I gave you the bad, I said it was section 2.
Hey, I found it.
You found it, okay. So Are we confident sharing that with people? In a conversational matter. I'm not saying, Erica, call the third contact on your phone and recite your value prop. That's not what I'm saying. It's a conversational piece. If somebody was like, why should I use you instead of Ray? You could spit that value prop to me, right? That's kind of like an elevator pitch almost.
I know what I did now. I took that and I put it into.
She chatted it.
chat.
She AI'd it.
As a dedicated real estate professional, I'm committed to providing my clients with a positive and seamless buying and selling experience. I strive to ensure that they have a clear understanding of the market and are well prepared for every step of the journey. With a caring approach, I prioritize open and transparent communication, keeping my clients informed and confident throughout the process. I remain flexible in adapting to their unique needs and persistent in overcoming any challenges that may arise, always seeking the best possible solutions. My goal is to create an experience that is not only smooth and efficient, but also one that instills trust, ease, and peace of mind. So ChatGPT did a really good job.
But it took your thoughts and it took who you are. And I would actually say it articulated you very well. You should be able to spit that out, right? If it's too wordy, shorten it down. In a conversation piece, Ron, you can go to that person and say, well, what do you do different? Well, I'll tell you what I do different. I'm Ron. I'm big dog Ron. And here I come. We got big cat, big dog. All right, right? Make sense? This is something that's always evolving. It never just is finished. It grows like you grow. Things change. Your specialty, your niche, all these things, your audience, all of it, your avatar, it all changes. So continue to take this workbook and keep going back to it, right? All right, revisiting the big life. It's your vision, your future. When you went back to section 1 in Ignite, you envisioned your big life for yourself. So Susan will find it first, I guarantee it, and she's gonna tell you which page it's on. And I want you to ask yourself, is there anything you've changed now that you're 4 weeks in? Were you thinking big enough? Because most of the time we're not. We're thinking so 2 weeks ahead of time that we're forgetting to envision what the big picture looks like. So review it on page
115.
Page 15 in section 1. Review what you wrote. And do we need to change it? And if we're going to change it, or actually, you might just rewrite it on page 4 of section 20. Move it back and forth. Look at it. Do you need to make changes? And maybe you don't. Maybe you saw it in the beginning and you're like, yeah, this is it. To have a big life, you have to envision it for yourself. You got to be realistic about your income and your profitable goals, but you got to think big and aim high. Don't set your goals low. Don't sandbag it. Reach for the stars. All right, so let me ask this. Anybody change it? You kept yours. Ron, do you care to read me what yours was? And you don't have to.
As far as like
What
what things I wanted to,
Yeah, your big vision, your big life.
basically, what it boils down to, I want to help my family, my kids, things like that, pay things off, travel.
Disney, that's okay.
So, no, I wouldn't change it. It's all.
Still in
all the same.
alignment.
Yeah.
Anybody else make any changes to theirs? Felt pretty solid. Anybody else want to share theirs? Thank you, Ron. Okay. All right, Eric, will you read for me?
One thing all high achievers have in common is they are working for a big why. The big why is about having a purpose, a mission, or a need that in turn gives you focus.
Moving forward, it's super important to have a clear picture of where you're going. Okay? You don't have to have it all figured out. But just know the vision, know where you're trying to get to. Because if we don't have a plan, we're not gonna know if we made it or not. How do you win in success? You can't just go off of feeling, right? Like, if you want to be successful, if you want to win, you got to know where the goal is, right? And what's cool is that goal gets to change. Sometimes it'll change in a 4-week span, right? If you remember, when I talked about my big life and my big goal, when I first came to KW, it was to keep food on the table and lights on in my house. That was my only concern. And some of you might say, well, Shanna, that wasn't thinking very big, but at the time that's as big as I could think, right? 2 kids, $18,000 a year between 3 jobs is what I was making. With a college degree, friends. That wasn't the life that I envisioned for myself, it's where I was. So my big why, my big everything was literally so that my kids didn't know we didn't have money. So that I didn't have to stand in a grocery line and put things back because I couldn't afford it. And that was enough to keep this engine going without stop. Sometimes that's not what gets us going, and that's fine. But what's cool about that is my big why is now totally different today, 9 years later. Totally different today. And I'm so proud because I didn't have a stop. I just kept going, right? This is not to say like, oh, look at me, I'm so great and wonderful. No, it's not about that at all. What it's about is that it doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter what you got going on, doesn't matter how big or how little your big why is. But if it's what gets you going and the lights go on, go for it. And you get to change that course. Cool, right? Got really heavy. Let's get out of that. All right, so big why. Why is it big? Camila, why is it big?
Because you're after extraordinary results.
That's right. Ron, why?
It is the reason you get up every day and do what you do.
You guys understand why that motivation is so important? Why is that important? The why powers the life. This is a vehicle to get where you want to go. No different than if Erica's my client and her motivation is to get to Florida to go be with grandkids. I need to tap into that to get her to keep going on the straight path, right? Same thing. This is how you hold yourself accountable, right? So turn to page 5. And I want you to think, number 1, what topics or causes are most important to you? Is it charity? Is it church? Is it growing a family business? Is it the legacy you want to leave behind? Is it 15 trips to Disney? What is it? What things are important to you? Is it feeding the homeless or, ending world hunger or peace for all nations? You say that anecdotally, but seriously, what is it? Okay. The next one is what gives you energy and fuels you personally? Is it working out? Is it yoga? Is it reading? Is it scrolling, doom scrolling for 37 minutes? We know that's how I relax. Didn't get to do it yesterday. And then the third question is, what's something you would do even if you weren't getting paid to do? Bless you. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. Can you please get any cuter? Please.
He knows he's cute.
Look at his face. He's like, I know I'm cute. He's adorable. I can't even with myself. I'd watch him for free. That's what I would do without him.
Well, I'll take you up on it, so don't say too much.
My kids love other kids, so yeah. And then what do you envision for yourself and your future, which we kind of hit on, so just rewrite it. And then I want you to put that into writing on your big why. And then hopefully somebody feels so compelled to share.
How do we get to the big why? I'm sorry. Yes.
The topics or causes that are important to you, what gives you energy and fuel personally? What's something you do even if you weren't getting paid, and what do you envision your life? You take that together and then you should be able to articulate what a big why is. And if it's nothing right now, or you have a mental block, that's fine. But I am curious about 1 and 2 for sure, and definitely 3. I definitely want to know what your 3 is. Are you done? Are you thinking?
Really 1 through 3. I'm kind of stumped on 4 and the big why.
That's okay. Let's make this a work in progress. What's your number 1, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I kind of worked ahead, so I don't know if I really went with the whole thing, but
There's no
topics,
wrong answer.
topics and cause, so integrity, loyalty, teaching other people that anyone can invest and build wealth,
Mm.
and serving and giving.
So serving, giving, and investing, and teaching others to invest is what I heard you say. Okay. What gives you energy and fuels you on a personal level?
You know, the process and the ahas and people's.
So the
Right.
collaboration and the energy in the room,
Yeah, and then like when they get it, like you see
the
it.
light
and they're-
bulb?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
that's like it,
What would you do even if you weren't paid to do it?
talk to people.
Okay. Guys, formulate that. What's his big why? Potentially talking to people, validating and educating them on how to grow their wealth and invest. Potentially, maybe that's it. I don't know that that's enough to get you up every morning and get you doing the thing, but it's definitely a focus. I'd lean into that some more. What did you hear?
Or to be influential in helping people make the right decisions.
She's way more articulate than I am.
So good.
She's so good. If I could just keep her in my pocket all day, I'd be so happy. Oh, what'd you say, Susan? Right? Yeah.
I'm like, you
That
take
was
all,
good. I'll say that was me. Actually, I'll keep you in this pocket instead, okay? So you've got more room.
you're like Chat GPT for like.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. AI, agent intelligence. All right, what else? Somebody else. Thank you, and thank you.
I really feel like that one was easy for me because it's the same thing that I want to do. I want to be influential, to educate people and serve them and help them make better choices.
I believe that. About these 2 individuals, does anybody question that? I would say that their thought and their big why is definitely in alignment with who they are, their integrity and their heart.
For both of them, I will add that, no, seriously.
You get to live in this pocket.
I'll add that you have to, like, you care about people, so you're a caring person, and at least that's the way I perceive it. So,
They're really good at faking it. Just in case you were
yeah,
curious.
well,
It's really evil, but we
Yeah.
Sorry.
Susan's on one today. Oh, I love it. I love it. That's the point of today is we've gotten to this point.
I was just kidding. I think evil is in my big why.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Love. Jackson, you feel comfortable sharing?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said serving the people around me, people I care about and providing, in the future for my family and stuff. Financial freedom and flexibility, that kind of thing, but just being somebody with integrity that people can go to and trust and not have to, feel like they're getting screwed
Yeah.
essentially. Because
Yeah.
a lot of people just don't trust really anybody. Like, they don't feel like they can trust people. And so just make it clear that I'm somebody that can trust and will be honest.
You gotta show it, yeah? You just say it. They gotta feel it. They gotta see it. Man, I get excited at this point in the day because I just feel like I get to be around some really cool individuals in this room. So who else wishes when they were 19, they had that much about themselves? Around this room, we are inspired by you, friend. Anybody else want to share? Feel comfortable sharing? There will be hugging later, don't worry. No, I'm just kidding. Anybody else?
That's what you're looking forward to, right?
He's like, I'm ready for the high fives and the champagne.
Oh, yeah. Champagne.
I heard there might be some champagne. That wasn't my choice. I'm dry. Still tonight. Tonight.
I didn't go as deep as them.
You don't have to.
I just said helping people and making people smile.
Helping people and making people smile. I think that's just as deep as what they're saying. It's just written differently. Making people smile says a lot to me. You want them to feel good, feel happy, turn the frown upside down.
And it's funny because I remember he mentioned that I don't think I like a lot of people because of my face and something like that.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I'm like, you have resting Ron face? No, you
Yeah.
don't. Like, it's
Now I got
beautiful.
old man face, so it's okay.
No, I
No,
love
you
it.
seem serious, but you don't seem like you're gonna eat anyone or.
Small children on the bus, no big deal. I told my husband that story and he about rolled off his chair. He thought it was so funny.
Oh, the
The
deer?
blood, yes.
Yeah.
He
Horrible.
traumatized a whole bus of children.
Thankfully it rains, now my bus is clean, so.
They're getting out, stepping over blood deer, getting out of the bus. They're all screaming. It's terrible.
I
I'm
ran over a
laughing.
fresh deer the other day. He just got hit, so when I hit him.
Oh, gosh.
Ron's big wise to never hit a deer with a bus full of kids again. I was like, had my kid had been on that bus, he'd have been traumatized for life.
I'm sure they all are. It was
Yeah.
awful.
And all the parents are laughing.
The doors, the kids get out the doors, blood all over the doors.
Oh.
It's bad.
It's the murder bus. Here it
Yeah.
comes.
That's probably what it's called now.
That's definitely what it's called now. All right. So thank you for sharing. All right, cool. Huh?
The Ron drives the murder bus.
Yeah.
Murder bus, yeah. Don't sell any murder houses, okay? That'll stay with him for all of his days in real estate. All right, so moving on to have a smart money business. All right, so let's think about this. What are the 6 jobs? Oh, wait, they're on the board. Go ahead and read them to me. They're also probably in your book.
I don't see him.
They're not.
They're not in the book, but they're on the board. All right, Susan, will you read me number 1?
Lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments.
Do we think that is one of the most important jobs there is?
Yes.
Yes.
Because without that, what do we have?
No.
Nothing. Ron, can you read me number 2?
Present to buyers and sellers and get agreements.
Okay, do we think that is important? Yeah, because you can lead gen and lead gen and lead gen, but until you go on an appointment and present to them, whether they're a buyer, a seller, a nurturer, and get them to sign something, you're not going any further. Right? You have implied agency, you have a relationship, but until you have pen to paper, we're just friends. Okay, so that's important while moving the business forward. Because this is not a nonprofit, this is a for-profit business. Yes. You want to read number 3?
I will read number 3, but I spent this more, so today is my dad's birthday.
Happy birthday,
And I
to
took him
Dad.
out to breakfast this morning and their family house is back in Pennsylvania. And I only spent like 20 minutes like working on him selling those houses so we can get properties here.
Okay,
I'm
so
like-
you presented.
I'm like,
to
I can't
Dad
turn
on
it
his
off
birthday?
now.
No, you can't turn it off.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I can't even go to a game, a kid's game and enjoy myself without talking real estate to somebody.
I had to pick up a check last night from the bank and the teller I left with like giving my card to. I know like her whole life story in like 3 minutes, you know,
It's fun though, isn't it?
I loved it. It
Yeah.
was great. So, and I hope she calls because she's already pre-approved and they're looking for a house for $180,000
Oh,
and I'm like, I'm not even kidding. I literally like, and she doesn't know that they were trying to buy their house.
Which bank was this?
I'm not telling you, I'm
That's
going
right.
back.
Go back. Go back and you call her, you get her
I
information.
will.
Don't leave it in chance of a card that could fall into the wind.
Yeah, she was trying to, her loan time is almost expired because she's been trying to buy the house that she's living in, the rental. for the
Well, I know a
landlord.
guy that'd be perfect for that, Ray.
I know.
Yeah. Very good, very good, very good. All right, can read me number 3?
Show buyers and market sellers.
Does that say show buyers 50 homes?
No.
Oh, okay. It just says to show your buyers, right? Show your buyers homes that do what? Fit their needs. And only homes that fit their needs, right? Market sellers, market yourself to sellers and market your listings for the sellers, right? All right, who wants to read the next one? Susan, did you read one?
I did the first one.
Eric,
Write and negotiate contracts.
this is really important. This is the fun part. When you get here, we should be having fun, right? But what we have learned is this is the start of a lot of communication, right? All right. Camila, what's the next one?
Coordinate the sales to closing.
Right, get a TC, or you're doing it yourself. Erica, you got the last one?
Manage the money.
Manage the money, because now we're gonna make money, right? That's my happy dance. That's what, when I get paid, I'm like, that's my. All right, so let's talk about where these commission dollars go. I don't feel like we need to get back into the mindset behind the business. Do you guys agree with that? So don't worry about that. All right, where the commission dollars go? Let's use, I'll tell you what. Ron, how much do you charge to take a listing?
6%.
6%, great, we'll use that number then. All right, so this is a 6% listing because Ron is a full fee, full service agent. So where's half of that gonna go?
Blue.
Why? Why are you paying the other agent?
I'm not a dual agent on this transaction.
No, not on this one, on the next one. But why are you giving up half of this 6% to them?
So bring me a buyer.
Bring me a buyer, you're incentivizing them. Good business practice, right? Is that not marketing to buyers? Yeah, because majority of buyers are gonna work with a real estate agent. Contrary to what the news says, they do. I can't remember the percentages, but we went over it. All right. This part goes to your market center. You got to split, don't you? Okay. Business expenses, taxes. What's left? That's what you get to keep, which is why we got to do enough to cap and then do more, right? The reason I'm pushing for cap so much, it's not so that I'm working you guys to death. It's not that the market center is gonna make all this money. No, I want you to cap so you can actually start earning some serious commission.
How much is the cap?
$23,000 if you're not on a team, right? So that's $20,000 to the market center, $3,000 to the royalty. At a $300,000 sale, what's your GCI? $9,000. Okay, I know this one. $9,000. All right, $9,000. It's gross commission income. I am gonna need some help here. Take 30% off of that.
3,000. It's a third.
9,000. We're gonna pay the market center 30%.
2,700.
There you go. I was like, it's not quite 3,000. You're gonna pay 6% to royalty. What's that? 450, 550 somewhere?
It would be
540.
540.
$540. Okay, what's your take home? Your 64%.
$57.60.
That's right, 5760. You wanna take home 5760 or wanna take home 9,000? Your choice. You wanna take home 9,000? About 9 transactions, right? So what's 2.2 million divided by $300,000?
2 point what?
2.2 million divided by 300,000. 8.5, 9.
Right.
Reverse the numbers.
7.33.
So just under 8 transactions. So we'll just call it 8. 8 transactions earns you the right to keep this for everything else. So we don't stop here. We got to keep going, right? Because what does it look like to get that? Right? Keep your half. That's what's so great about our cap system, right? You still got to pay for taxes, do your quarterly taxes. I always estimate 30% just to be safe. Does anybody else estimate anything different than that?
I do. I'm just gonna do half.
You're just gonna take half of
Yeah,
everything?
and just
I mean,
file
think
them
about what he could do with that half. Taxes, expenses. If he wants to hire on an admin, he's got that money saved. When you're ready to hire an admin, I always say have 3 to 6 months of their salary saved up so that you can afford them, because your production may slow down when you hire them on because you got to teach them who you are and what you're doing, right? Right, so let's use this example. All right, does this make sense first off, before I move gears here? Does this track, this make sense? Okay, this is gonna be an activity. The graphic is on page 7, and then we'll go through this, and then we're gonna go to page 8 and do the math and do everything. All right, so, oh, that's funny, it's $9,000, guys. I didn't even look at that, I promise. Didn't even look at it. All right, so is $9,000, let's see what's going on here. Jessica sold a home, must have been $300,000 home at a 3% rate. She earned a GCI of 9,000. 5,760 was paid to her from the market center. She put it in a personal account and put it all in her wallet. Was that sound or unsound? Why? I mean, that's my money, isn't it? I earned it. I should be able to go spend it,
Because she's gonna come up with a big bill at some point.
right? And if this is in her account, we don't know how financially responsible she is. What if she just spends it as soon as it comes in, right? Also, it's in her personal account. She doesn't have a business account. That's liable. You're commingling, you're commingling. It's a big old no-no, right? What about this side? $9,000 commission, got a check cut from the market center for 5,760. She put 1,728 in her business bank account, and then put 4,032 into her personal account. Within that, she moved 1,600 to a tax savings and actually separated it by the state and federal and self-employment tax, and then ended up putting 2,419 in her wallet. Which one's more sound? The one on the other side, right? She's not commingling, right? So let's go to this page right here. Is the 9,000 commission she receives income revenue or profit? It is income revenue. It's not profit. What is profit? Is that is profit. But unless you're managing your money responsibly, you're not gonna know what's profit and what's earned income, right? And if you're a 1099 employee, are there not tax benefits here that could be in your advantage if you knew where the dollars were going and where your expense money was going? Okay. Why is Jessica getting a check for $5,760 for a $9,000 commission?
She has a split to her broker.
She got a split to her broker, absolutely. So we decided together that option B was more financially sound. What makes it financially sound? Say it to me again, just for understanding. Say that one more time.
Preparing for expenses.
Preparing for expenses. When that check comes in, or not check, that bill for taxes comes in, is Jessica ready for it? Or is she scrambling, trying to figure out how she's gonna pay her taxes? Yeah, she's ready for it, right? She's saving 40% of her income taxes, and that might be a high number, so obviously check with your CPA. I like to save 30%. But most people live here, believe it or not. 100% you believe that, right? They get that money, first off, they're upset because they don't understand. They're like, where's my 9,000? You didn't cap yet. You didn't earn the right to get 100% yet, right? You paid in your dues so that you could. So you know that the split's gonna come down, and then they just put it right in their wallet and go spend it. And it is shocking how many people operate like this, friends. Really surprising. And some of you guys are looking around like, I would never. Okay.
What's also the
Safe
percentage,
space.
the percentage we gotta split for the coaching program?
That's 10.
10?
And they take it right off the top at the market center, so you don't ever pay it, you don't see it, it's a cost of sale, so it's not an expense. And you actually don't even pay your splits from the big number, you pay it from the lesser number. So they don't double dip you. Way to make it about me.
Yeah, seriously.
Hey, you're getting learned up and your horse is gonna be able to horse, okay? Tell me, Ron, what does this quote say?
Money is good for the good it can do.
What good will you have your money do for you?
Make people smile.
Make people smile. I can feel that he's got a legacy plan. He talks about wanting to provide for his family did you say financial freedom too, or was that just Jackson?
Wasn't the goal for everybody?
Isn't it?
I mean,
Optionally employed is what I'm looking for. I'd like to choose whether I have to work or not, absolutely. But it truly is only the good for what it can do, right? And I think when we go with that mentality, we're serving our lives and leading our lives with gratitude and being a good human, I guess. All right. Let's go to the next page. All right, the flow of money, profit. Somebody read me what profit says. Next page, right? On page.
How much money do I want in my bank account at the end of the year?
That's what profit is. How much money do I want in my bank account at the end of the year, after splits, after taxes, after expenses, after the bills are paid? That's your profit. Jackson, read me the next one. What is is it income or expenses?
Income.
What's income?
How many homes do I need to sell to achieve my profit goal?
How do we figure that out?
Work backwards.
Work backwards. It's the economic model. Okay. And Susan, tell me about expenses.
How can I minimize my expenses to maximize my net income?
Tell me why that's important.
Because you want to have the most profit possible
Mhm.
and
Yeah, so that you have the profit. We all understand what profit is, right? Okay, so just so we're clear, where's our real estate money come from?
Compensation.
The compensation from listings, sales, referrals,
This is my ball.
profit share. Oh, right to my heart. Love that. Right? So once we know these things, income's what goes in, expense is what goes out, profit's what's left. How many homes do I have to sell? How can I minimize my expenses to do so, to get the most net income so that I can get my goal? All right, let's play a little game here. Which pin works? Okay, that wasn't the game. If it was curious. Okay, who wants to give me a goal?
you need a profit goal,
Yeah,
$20,000.
$20,000 profit.
Oh, this is like at the end of the year. Is that what we're talking about? What you want to have in your
Yearly
bank
or-
account at the end of the year?
Mhm.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it 20,000. Okay, that's fine, $20,000. I was trying to think about that. All right, so Susan, what's your average dollar sale? Or do you want to use the companies at 250?
Let's use 250.
250. All right, so $250,000 average dollar sale. What is your net income from that? So after split, before taxes. Or do you just want to operate off of gross? You tell me.
Start with gross.
Start with gross, okay. What is that, 50, 7,500?
7,500.
7,500. 7,500. So we'll just operate off of this and then, we're gonna have a couple different transactions in here. 7,500. We're gonna need to know what our yearly expenses are gonna be. Okay? So what's our yearly expenditure? Do you know? Or good idea?
I have no idea.
How much is it per month
For what?
for like the tech and all that stuff here?
So you have $100 agent billing. Okay,
Plus 47.50
For
for
MLS, yeah.
65 actually for your key too, right? Yeah. How much does business cards run?
Depends on where you
45.
get 'em.
Let's just go basics here.
Like $30.
For how many?
With Kate is like 85 for 100.
Just say $150. Well, I did the math in my head and just you're fine. All right. What about open houses? How much does it cost to do an open house? Got to buy signs.
It's $8 a sign, and if you have 6 signs, that's $48. And then
You can do water, things like that.
I'll say 60. Like $60 with like little waters and then cookies and stuff.
Okay. Let's say it's $60 every 2 months, because you're gonna have to replace signs and stuff too, right? So 60 times 6 is 360. Don't forget about board renewals, right? 100.
I got 575.
Is it
It
575?
was 571 this year.
571 with the $20 thing.
Yeah. How much gas do you think you use in a year? You see why we gotta track our expenses? So that not only do you know and you can account for these things, but because you can get tax breaks for these things.
Let's say $650.
650?
That's probably conservative.
I was gonna say like 2,500.
Yeah, yeah, it would be a lot.
Claim mileage, don't claim
Mileage, what
gas.
else? What else am I forgetting here? Should we just throw in another $1,000 for miscellaneous? Okay, so what am I up to? What's 1,650 plus 575, 360, 150, 65 and 1,200? This one is out of my brain. I don't know.
$4,000,
4,000.
unless somebody comes up with something different.
No, I'll go with that. I like that. I like that. Right, so we know we're gonna have to minus $4,000. If we are looking for $20,000 to be left over, minus 4,000, how many deals am I gonna need to do? This is typically not the way I go about this. Usually I work it completely different, but for the sake of this, let's just work through this. How many $7,500 transactions am I gonna need to get to $20,000?
Are you subtracting the 4,000
Not yet.
one time or?
No, just,
Oh,
how many of these does it take to get to this? Three transactions? All right. Add that $4,000 in, what am I at? About 3.5 to 4, right? Are all of those gonna close? No? And have I even accounted for my taxes or my splits yet? Right? So would it be fair to say it's probably closer to 8? Just to get through this exercise quicker? All right, so if I need to get 8 transactions, then what I'm looking at for my gross, what's 7,500 times 8? Looking at a GCI of 60,000. Well, that would give us plenty more, right? Well, how many appointments do I need to get on to get 8? Let's say you have a 25% conversion. I'm sorry, 65, 32, what are we saying?
32.
32. I was like, it certainly isn't. So I need to go on 32 appointments. Okay. With a 25% conversion rate. Y'all can do better than that. 32 appointments. How many weeks do we have in a year? 52? Are you gonna work all 52 weeks?
No.
No, you're probably gonna work about 50 or 48 weeks, right? How many weeks you gonna work this year? 48 weeks? How many appointments is that per week? Less than 1. It's like a half appointment. Right? So now I know that, so what is it? 32 divided by 48? 0.8?
2/3, 0.66.
0.66? So like a half appointment a week, right? So every 2 weeks I have to hit at least 1 appointment. Now I know how many contacts do I need to make to get 1 appointment? It takes you 10 contacts to 1 appointment? That's amazing.
Oh, I don't.
Then you're not at a 25% conversion. But let's call it 100.
Oh, okay.
So typically speaking, it takes 100 contacts or connections to get to an appointment. That's why we always say do 20 a day, right? All right, so that means 100 per week for 48 weeks is what? $4,800, right? Right? 4,800, not 48,000. Right?
4,800.
4,800, that's what I.
4,000.
Well, I was like, wait a minute, how many zeros are there? Right? So I need to know that for the year, I'm gonna have to make this. So do you see where we start reverse engineering this? And I did a really crap job up here, just in case you were curious, because this is not the typical formula I use. But you can see where we can start to figure out exactly what our activities must be to get the business that we so desire. Right? I'll take you all through the actual economic model in coaching. And everybody's numbers will be slightly different, but what you're gonna learn is it's typically 1 to 2 appointments a week gets you financially where you wanna be. Bonus points for appointments that are really good appointments, right? Coffee date may not lead to anything but a nurture, but a listing appointment leads to right now business typically, right? So if I need to go on 2 appointments a week, I'm probably gonna set between 4 and 6. Depending on conversion, depending on people rescheduling, depending on the quality of my appointments. Does that make sense? Did I leave a lot for you guys to be curious about? Yeah, some of you guys are like, your math is not math, and it mathed, I promise. I said it did. All right, so moving on here, cost of sale versus operating expenses. Cost of sale is your commission paid to your broker. So your split is part of your cost of sale. Do you have to pay that split if you don't have business?
No.
No. Coaching's the cost of sale. Do you have to pay the coaching split if you don't have business? Do you see what cost of sale is? A transaction coordinator, cost of sale. I prefer cost of sale over expenses any day. Referral, is a referral a cost of sale or an expense? It's a cost of sale. I'm proud of that. It's 100% accurate, okay? Operating expenses, rent, salaries, insurance, professional services like the newsletter or the business card creation. That's all expenses. Any marketing and advertising spent, that happens regardless if you sell something. So is when we can, in education, if you have to pay for education, that's an expense. So we want to keep our expenses in check. Cost of sale only gets paid if you do business. You guys understand the difference there, right? All right. So some best practices here. What page is this on? Same page? Yes, 9. Okay. The first one, gain clarity on your big why and plans for your future. That is going to help you keep propelling. So where you're like, I don't want to make 4,800 calls in a year. I don't want to contact 4,800 people. But when you go, I want to take my whole family to Disney every year, twice a year, and that motivates you enough to keep going, then this gets a lot simpler, right? Set your personal and business budgets. Susan, tell me why you think that might be important.
You need to keep those 2 things separately, because if it gets all put together, then you can't track what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you have it separated, then you can track where you're spending your money and what you're doing and come up with more efficient ways to run your business.
Yeah, because you're a business owner. You got to manage the money as if you were managing a business. It's not just I get my money, I get paid, and now I just put all that money into my personal budget. You should have a personal budget and you should have a business budget.
When you, okay, so let me ask you about this. Are you just considering that a business account? You know, that's not like formally established as a business account with the bank. It's just you saying, this is my personal account, this is my business account.
I would go and set up one.
Okay.
I would. For my LLC, for my investment properties, it's actually at a completely different bank than I do my personal banking. And it's set under my LLC. So then the liability is off me as a person and it's all on the LLC.
You recommend using a different bank?
I do, but that's just me. I like to see, because Midmo offers things that Bank of America doesn't, that Central Bank doesn't, right? So maybe there's a better business banking account at one versus the other, but I've had the other for so long and my kids' accounts are there so I can move funds around, right? So actually between my husband and I, we have 4 banks. And we don't have money, guys. No, but we operate out of 4 different banks for multiple reasons. One, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so you know, I don't like all my eggs in one basket.
Okay, so I'm really
Susan's
dumb.
like, I don't like that.
I'm really dumb about this because
You're
all
not
I've ever
dumb.
had is personal.
A checking and a savings. Mhm.
Right, so what's the difference between a business account and a personal account? Is it,
It's in the LLC's name versus my Christian name. I can't think of my formal name, yeah.
So we should set up an LLC to
I would.
take care of that, okay.
Now, in the beginning, we don't have to, if you're financially responsible with where your money goes and things, but when you're gonna run a big business, it is important to start thinking that way. So for all of my years leading up until just now, I've been a W-2 employee, right? So I've had the market center cut me a check at the end of the month for whatever bonuses, commissions I've earned and had the taxes taken out of it. But what I learned is I was leaving a lot of money on the table. I was leaving a lot of money on the table because I have expenses that I can't write off. Right? So like when I buy things for the group, when I give you guys like the books and the prizes like we have for next month, I pay for those things, but I have no way to write them off, meaning lowering my taxable income, right? I needed to start an LLC and start getting paid by 1099 so that I could officially go in and have expenses and run a business versus being an employee. Does that make sense?
LLC allows you to be a pass-through and you can take all of your expenses in the LLC. And by the time you're done paying yourself, I mean, you'll be at poverty level on paper. But
But the Uncle
business.
Sam's not taking it.
Well, exactly. Like, I've only paid myself a few $1,000s in the last 6 months. That means I will only owe self-employment a few $100s.
You have a good accountant, CPA?
I don't,
Get one.
but I have,
One of those 3 I sent you.
yeah, they've already sent me some names.
I just fired my last one because she wasn't helping me do anything.
Didn't you?
She would do my taxes. I'm like, I can do my taxes. I did my taxes for years. You're not just because I have investment properties, it didn't give me any more advice on where to go next. So I got a new CPA and he's like, oh, here's what we need to do.
There's also huge tax benefits that are exclusive to,
A real estate professional,
exactly, that no one else gets.
like what you
can-
do with your properties and depreciation and cost seg and all of that kind of stuff.
And carrying and carrying debt and carry, like, you can almost do it like infinitely as a real estate professional. So because of all the costs and stuff like that. So yeah, so
Which is another reason why I have 2 investment properties that I've been able to do nothing with except claim a loss because I did claim a loss. So now this year, when I'm gonna do my taxes for the following year, it's gonna look totally different.
like every single time I go out and buy food, it's with my business card. My accountant told me, he's like, you can spend up to about $300 or $400 a week.
Get with your accountant on that one. I don't like to do things that would ever get me flagged. And to me, I don't know. But that if your accountant says to do it,
Well,
you're
because
gonna stand behind it.
so it has to be, so it's gotta be lunch, like while you're working, or if you take out a client, or
rules.
if you're, but if you're doing anything to do with real estate, and there's caps where you start to hit
Sorry, I
flags.
just have this image of Camila going, I got it, everybody. Everything's on me.
Well, you
I'm
still,
gonna send it to the write-off guy.
no, you still pay for it, but it's just in a
It just
different.
lowers the
it's just-
amount of money
Yeah.
that they think you're making so that the tax that you have to pay in, your income tax and all of that, it's just lessened.
Okay,
It's like the miles too, or no?
Yep, you do your miles, what is it, 64 cents a mile, 54 cents a mile?
I think it's up to like 70 something.
Wow, it's been a minute since I looked at that.
Yeah.
Right, but tracking your mileage, that's all really good, important stuff.
Here's the thing though, if you're gonna claim to be a real estate agent, you need to track your time.
Yeah, because they require a certain amount of hours, like, I don't know, not
It's a lot of
10,000
hours, the
but-
hours that, but if you ever get audited, you essentially need a timesheet that says, I go to work at 5 or at 9 and I leave at 5. And they want to stay, if you get audited, if you never get audited, you're fine. But if you don't have that and you claim to be a real estate professional, then they're gonna send you a big tax bill that says, here you go, you owe us all this money that you tried to deduct. So it's because it is,
It is the IRS.
it's literally like a loophole. It's not a loophole, but it's a category that feels illegal. And it will put you in a higher audit area, but it is
does your calendar,
hugely beneficial.
can your calendar see that timesheet?
Yeah, I honestly, I use a mileage tracker that timestamps all my mileage. So
Cool.
I'm gonna use that and just say, if I ever have an issue, then I'm gonna have to print out everything and I'm gonna have to put it into a database, or I'm gonna have to figure it all out. But I mean, it timestamps when I leave my house and it timestamps my last one when I show up at home. And I
Is that an
am,
app?
yeah,
There's a lot of
So
apps
it's like,
available.
it's like $10, it's
A lot
like,
of people will use QuickBooks too.
I'd started using QuickBooks, but it burns through your phone's battery.
Oh,
When you turn the mileage tracker on.
oh, gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
So there are apps to make this
There is-
easier.
There is one that I sent Susan. It's-
My IQ, and I downloaded
Okay,
it,
that's the
and
one I use.
it sends me, at the end of every day, it sends me a summary of my
Yeah.
mileage.
Your report, yeah.
And usually that's gonna be enough to suffice.
Yeah.
Side note, if you're taking receipts, you keep your receipts, right? Just in case you were to ever get audited. Those receipts, that paper, it will disappear. It's
Yeah.
not invisible ink, but if you ever kept a receipt long enough and you open it and there's nothing written on it, so scan it to yourself.
Yeah, and
Get it in your Google Drive and just scan all your receipts in there.
talk to get a CPA and see if they support QuickBooks and see if they have an option for QuickBooks, because I just flipped over where my CPA is doing my bookkeeping. And it's gonna cost me about $100 to $200 a month to have him do my bookkeeping, which will make his life easier to do my taxes. And I was paying $100 a month for QuickBooks and doing my own bookkeeping. And I still have QuickBooks, it's just his subscription. So I think you snap every receipt.
Yeah. So this really
That's
was,
fine. 2025, get efficient.
no, I love that.
I
And
mean, but
guys,
that's,
we're just January 31st.
Yeah.
If you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so far behind, you're right on time.
you know, this is, yeah, I
You're
started
good.
doing this like 5 months ago.
It's got every one of my trips,
Mhm.
on here for the month of January.
Yep, and you swipe left, right for
Invest in stuff like that, but it's gonna be a expense.
an
It's not a
expense.
cost of sale, right? It's an expense. It's gonna, that app will be there regardless.
So, I had been tracking my mileage and until I realized, maybe halfway through the fall that I wanted to keep as much money as possible, or keep as much money. And then life happened. My husband lost his job. We had to spend all my money. So now I'm only keeping like a track of half of what I did. Going into tax season this year, is it easier or better for me to physically have someone else help me with my taxes or just do them on my own for this year? Because I've heard about CPAs and looked into that, so I'm gonna have to do that this year. But I've always done my own
Oh.
taxes like through H&R Block or TurboTax.
I did all my own taxes until last year, and it was worth, it cost me just under $600 to have them do my taxes. And it saved me $10,000 in taxes.
Cause I'm sure I'll miss quite a few things, cause
Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah,
could. or
when you're
could not.
a regular W-2 person,
Do them yourself.
Do 'em
I did 'em. I
yourself.
do. I used to do our taxes. My husband was always like, you feel comfortable with this? I go, dude, we're W-2s. I know what to do.
yeah, there's nothing, the way the tax laws are set up, there's really not much you can do if you're W-2 employment.
Mhm.
But once you start, like I said, there's so many more benefits. And you wanna have an LLC because you want all your money to go into your LLC because you wanna pay all your expenses. Some stuff feels personal, but it still can be a business expense, and then you pay yourself out of that because your self-employment and your whatever else is gonna be what you take from your LLC and you pay yourself. So you wanna pay, like, my cars are in the LLC, like.
Yeah, there's a lot of sheltering that
Yeah.
goes on within an LLC and it removes you and your personal assets from liability sometimes. So that's good too. I'm not the best person to talk to about this, but a CPA or Landon upstairs is really great.
But I think you have to find someone that really knows about.
Just,
like,
the biggest
that
thing is
have
make sure there's,
information whenever you're a real estate, cause that way they know what can you deduct from it, or you can go and say, hey, well, I'm a real estate, okay, I'll do your taxes.
yeah, and try to,
Someone
Yeah,
that's
that's
good
what
with
I'm
real
worried about,
estate.
like
And
just
then-
walking in somewhere and they're like, oh, I'll totally do it, cause I know the next probably 2 years, if that's how it's gonna play out, I'll still keep track of everything for my own information.
I'll tell
just
you,
in
I'll tell
case,
you,
but-
I'll tell you my experience, even with good accountants. You think real estate agents are bad about following up? Even really good accountants are really bad, I mean,
The
you,
guy I have right now did not respond back to me for like 3 days
yeah,
on multiple different things, but he's great. And I just had to be like, hey, I don't love that, but I'm okay with it, because if you're good with the money. And I interviewed some other ones. I found somebody that was great with LLCs and with real estate agents.
Yeah.
And I asked them questions. I interviewed, right? And I left the one that I had because I wasn't getting any more value than something I could do myself.
Yeah.
And I honestly, the reason I started using a CPA over my doing it myself was because we bought and sold in the same time frame that I needed to handle the property gains taxes. And I was just prepared to just stroke a check for whatever. And she's like, no, 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 no. What are all the improvements? What are the realtor fees? What are all of these different things that I didn't even think about? So she saved me a buttload of money on what I was gonna have to pay in.
Yeah.
So. Cool.
That was the deciding factor for me. Capital gains taxes.
Yeah. Ron, will you read me this?
Think and act the wage you want before you earn it. Average is as average does. Good is as good does, and great is as great does. What you do is who you become.
Does that make you feel a certain way? You ever hear the phrase, dress for the job you want, not the one you have? Clearly, I'm dressed for the job I want. I would be wearing my house slippers. Think about what you want, right? Sometimes you're gonna get this $7,500 check, and you're gonna question whether you felt like you earned it or not, right? I'll tell you how you are a good judge of that is, are you willing to offer them a review or ask for a review or referral? If the answer is no, you probably are feeling a certain way about what you earned, right? Or it was just a really, really bad transaction. You're like, I earned it, but I don't like them. That happens too, right? Something to think about. And it's just good. It's just a good thing to think about. I don't know how else to say that, right? All right, so revisiting your profit and your net income, I don't think we did that, so let's move on here. All right, so get paid at close. Check with your market center staff, use the command opportunities. Landon teaches a command to close class. Has anybody been to it yet? I highly, highly encourage you go to his command to close class. He does it once a month. We skipped through. We're on page. No page. We're in between pages. Camila's like, what? Wait, you're not going in order. Go to command to close. Command will track all your activities. It is the epicenter of your business. It's got everything you could possibly need. You go to your documents to start a transaction, right? In an opportunity, documents, start a transaction. The next thing over is commissions. Has anybody looked at that page? That commissions tab? Take a look at it. Landon will walk you through that. Don't ask me. I don't ever mess with that stuff. I just wait and get paid. I do all the activities. But go to command to close. It's super, super important.
Would it be, if we're not using command, would that be visual to go to it anyway?
Does Jen handle it, process all your stuff? Jen will? She is putting it into command to get everybody paid.
Okay.
So in your case, probably not, because you're never gonna have to get into that side of it. Yeah, but everybody else who does their own, the transaction coordinator is gonna put all this in there for you as well. So go to the command classes when you're ready to learn those things, right? Like if you've got a deal that's getting you to get to the closing table, go to the command to close class or revisit it on the demand trainings, okay? We went over a lot of stuff so far. What kind of questions do you guys have? And I bounced around a little bit in the interest of time, and I don't like repeating stuff. Just go on. He's saying something, man. He's singing.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Success system for life. All right, this is on that next page, right? Here are the things that you have been doing every day for the last 20 sessions, correct? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Working with accountability partner. Who's really doing well with that? Raise your hands. No shame, no shame. But you're doing well with it, right? And if you're not doing well with it, look inside and figure out, maybe I need a different partner. Maybe I need a third partner because I'm so busy and they're so busy. So we can maybe be less busy with 3 of us, however that works. All right, having 10 conversations a day. 10 conversations a day. How's that going?
I feel like I've gone way over 10
Good.
conversations a day now, just because I have so many more people that I'm dealing with.
That's huge. If you can have 10 conversations a day, you can have 15. And if you can have 15, you can have 20. And guess what? The magic number is 20 quality conversations a day, get you 100 conversations a week, which should get you appointments. Because that's the goal, right? To go on quality appointments. Right, cool. Did you have something to add?
No, well, I was just gonna say, I've been having trouble tracking the number, but it has become, like I said, it's almost every conversation. It's natural to bring it up. If it's not something I've already talked to, and then we bring it up and we talk about it, then somehow it comes up in conversation.
Yeah.
With the bank teller, with whoever, with, like, it's just.
Starts to become natural. It's part of just
But
your.
then at the end of the
vernacular,
day, I'm like, all right, how many conversations? And I'm like, I remember 4, but I know I probably had 40.
Right,
Like,
right.
so.
And the reason I ask is not that I can micromanage that, but if Susan's like, man, I feel like I'm just talking and talking and talking and I'm not getting any appointments, I'm gonna say, how many conversations are you actually having? And if she can't answer that, well, let's start there because you might not be having enough. And then if she's having enough conversations, but she's not getting appointments, what's our problem?
Quality to conversation.
Conversation,
Not asking.
not asking for the business, conversion, right? Source, maybe the source is not a good source for you to be dipping in, right? Adding 10 contacts to the database, how's that going?
I was doing really well for a while, like, I did what you said happens, you get.
Got busy, you got a deal, you got a transaction, you
Yeah.
stayed with that deal, and then all of a sudden you stopped adding, so then future you is like really mad at past you or current you, okay? Adding 10 contacts to the database is crucial to grow your database, because if you stop growing, you are decaying. Okay, it will only stay in that middle line for so long before you start a slippery slope downward. Your database only has a certain life expectancy, right? If you have 200 people in there, say 7 of them are gonna transact with you. Well, after all 7 of them transact, then what do you have? Nobody's ready to do anything for another 5 to 7 years. Well, you've got to keep adding because that's where the growth happens. Lead generating through social media. How did that go for you? Ray knows that it worked, didn't it? I had one of my dual career agents call me back last night, Logan. Who was in our
He was texting me yesterday.
He called me, he goes, I'm calling you so you can say, I told you so. And I was like, I would never say that out loud, only in my head. What did I tell you so that happened? He goes, you told me to post and I did and it worked. And I was like, that's excellent. You got a deal. He got a deal. He's got business because he did the activity that I told him would work for him. That's not on me, that's on him, right? What a cool call I got on my end of my day. I was so stoked. I was like, yeah, right? Especially for a dual career who doesn't have 8 hours a week to spend on real estate. Do we think social media is super imperative for him? Yeah, same thing for you and you, right? Adding enrichments to the daily learning. How'd that go? Some of those enrichments. Does anybody remember what any of the enrichments were that I had you do? Outside of this one.
Writing questions.
Questions. Let's start with that one. How'd that go?
The role play.
The role play, but let's start with the questions. You practiced writing questions.
That helped me think through some things
Okay.
that, how are we word things for clients when I'm talking to, or for during interaction with someone.
Uh-huh. It totally changed your whole dialogue, didn't it? And I would venture to say you were a very articulate person ahead of this. And she went very purposeful to try to change the narrative and change the conversation. Love that.
Still working.
Still working on it. This is always a work in progress. We are always under construction. All right. Camila, you said the role plays. How did that help you?
Well, I've been doing it with Susan and sometimes with Erica, and it works because I guess the feedback that we have given to each other, it's really helpful. Sometimes the way I think, it's not the same way that Susan thinks or Erica thinks, so.
Look how you role played and you talked through her open houses, right? And she changed it and got somebody. It's pretty cool. Was this helpful? Yeah. Did I give you any other enrichments?
read the MREA.
Okay, did you read it?
I'm almost done.
You're almost done? Does anybody need a copy of that? Susan's the only one that needs a copy on me?
You get it on Audible.
Probably.
It is on Audible, yes, because I was gonna order it on Audible.
I
don't
like
know.
having the actual copy. I'm a page turner.
I prefer it, but I know that I don't.
Well,
I'm
here's
more
the deal.
likely to
What I would
listen.
do is get it, listen to it and flip through it. See the visuals on it. That might be beneficial too. But yeah, it should be on Audible. Okay. What about the door knocking in your community? Ray?
I've had pretty good luck doing the 2 different areas. I've got a lead for a potential buyer and I've got a lead for a potential seller. I need to follow up on the seller like tomorrow. And I'm waiting for my business cards so I can do my neighborhood.
Okay,
Just my neighborhood.
okay with that.
My neighborhood's like super dense with like real estate agents, so I want to
That's fair.
not use the construction ones. I want to present myself as a agent, stuff like that.
I like it. So here's my question. We can all agree that these things worked, right? Who's committed to keeping going with them? I hope so. Because this is the secret sauce. This is what gets you to capped and 100% commission. It's things. Why would I tell you to do anything else? Right? Stick to the foundations, keep your nose to the ground and just go and don't let anything else bother you, right? Everything else is a distraction. Everything else is noise. Stay the course. Do the activities. When you are overwhelmed and you're like, I don't even know what to do, go to this list. Go to the list and pick something off the list. Accountability. Super, super important, yeah? Keeps your mindset focused. Talent thrives in accountability. Non-talent shies away from it. Your talent, that's why you all keep showing up. And you're reporting your progress, you're reporting your numbers, even if your numbers are 0, because that's okay as long as they're not always 0. It reminds you of your big why. Challenges you to challenges you and makes you uncomfortable at times. Nobody wants to be uncomfortable, but guess what? That's growth. Going from E to P and that breakthrough is painful and it's uncomfortable, but that will pass. Okay? And then knowing that one of our 6 PPs, 6 personal perspectives, like the E to P and all the stuff and self-mastery and learning based, be accountable. Don't be a victim, be accountable. Okay? When you're looking for accountability, you've got people, partners, mentors, MAPS coaches. Your mentor does not have to be somebody you actually know. Okay? What I mean is, maybe I'm using, what's the guy, the snowball guy, the money guy, Dave Ramsey. Couldn't leave you guys without me not remembering something, right? Dave Ramsey, do I know Dave Ramsey? Are we friends? Have we ever spoken? Does he know my name? If we crossed paths in the street, he wouldn't know me, yet I would consider that a financial mentor, right? So we're not always needing a in-person mentor. Sometimes it's somebody we look up to. Maybe it's a podcast. Maybe it's a book, right? One of my favorite books is The Happiness Advantage. So when I find people that are super negative, have a super negative outlook, and I can see that their business is failing because of that, I have them read that book because it changed the way I thought of things. Instead of being prone to scan for the negatives in an environment, I'm prone to find the positives. And when we lead with positivity and we lead with gratitude, we are then happier, which then makes business better. There's a whole book on it. It's really good. Okay, so you guys understand what I'm saying, okay? I'm a coach. I'm on this list, yes? Ray, can I actually hold you accountable? Not really, right? You gotta hold yourself accountable. Sometimes just my presence alone is enough to keep you accountable, okay? I've got an agent in our program that has to meet with me once a week. The only way this agent will do the work is if she knows she has to meet with me and tell me what she did or didn't do. That's massive accountability, but I'm not doing anything except just breathing and being there. But I'm accountable to make sure that I bring up her goals. I'm accountable to make sure that I show up and I don't cancel her appointment. So it's a two-way street here, right? But I can't just take Ron and make him do the things. Ron's gotta hold himself accountable, but we use tools and people and mentors and all these other things to get there. Okay, 411s. Does anybody know what a 411 is? 4 weeks, 1 month, 1 year, and it's one big goal that you're reaching. So it's taking, like what Susan said in the beginning, and taking little digestible chunks and going piece by piece. I went on my first family vacation to Disney, by the way, because I put it on a 411.
What is it? 4 weeks, 1 month?
1 year. Mhm. If you get into KW Command, you can find a 411. If you're in my second level of coaching, you use a 411, because how else am I supposed to remember what everybody's goals are? I do pretty good.
Okay, so first is 4 weeks, your goal for 4 weeks, then your goals for 1 month, then your goals for 1 year. I don't know what the
I
four.
get you, I get you. I should have brought one, if I'm being honest. What it looks like. I like this one. So what a 411. Did you all see that pen totally attacked me? I was assaulted. All right. So we've got 411. So annual goal, right? Yearly. Yearly goal. 20 transactions. Actually, we'll make this easy. We'll say 24 transactions. 1 month at a time. So 24 divided by 2 is what? Yeah. Come on, math whizzes, where you at? So 12 transactions this month. And I've got 4 weeks. Right? And so what I can do here is go, all right, 12 divided by 4 is what? So I'm gonna need 3 transactions in week 1. Right? So that's a goal. And then I can list out all my activities, which means, okay, so I'm gonna do 20 daily contacts. I'm gonna do 2 open houses. Give me something else to get 3 transactions this week. Move all my B's to A's. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say 100 something.
100 what?
100 phone calls a day.
Well, I got 20 contacts.
Oh, okay.
All right. So let's start here. And so we meet, and this is where we are. And you've got 2 out of 3. Right? And I did my 20 contacts, I did my 2 open houses, and I moved all my B's to A's. All right. So now I'm over here. Is my goal 3 or is it 4? It's 4, right? Because I only got 2 there. So what am I going to do this week that's different to get me that 4th one? Right? Well, let's say I get 6 out of the 4. What's my goal here?
Not there.
2. Wait,
6, 7, 8. I still need 3. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna keep my 3, right? Because I'd rather keep my 3 here than waiting for my 3 here. And so then what activities do I need to do to make sure I get 3? Oh, well, this week I'm gonna do 100 contacts this week because I gotta get this done. I'm gonna do 3 open houses this week because I gotta get this done. Right? I'm gonna take a listing. So do you see how all of this works together to get here to get here? Right? And then there's room for personal stuff. So let's take that Disney vacation, right? So 12 transactions and a trip to Disney. If I'm really motivated for this, I know this is the path to get here. Here's my vehicle, right? So then what I can say is, all right, week 1 is I'm gonna have a family meeting and we're gonna decide time. So here I am going, okay, did you do that? No, we ran out of time this week. We were so busy. All right, that moves over to this week. We don't erase, we replace, right? So I'm gonna move that here. So Shanna, did you decide? Yeah, we're gonna go in May. Are you sure that time works? Great. So we can check that off. What's the next thing I need to do? Let's establish a budget for that trip, right? How much money are you gonna need? So I need you to go home this week and research the prices of the tickets, the price of what you can budget for, right? So create a family budget for this trip. Right, so do you see how this stuff starts to work with it to get to that end goal? Does that make sense? See a lot of blank faces right now, but I know I made sense. I was crystal clear just now, right? So that 411 is super, super important. The next tool is time blocking. Have we gotten better with blocking our time? Right, the first time I heard that, I didn't understand it. I was like, block time? Okay, cool. Oh, you block it and then you actually do what it says to do? Oh, that's totally different. I didn't have time for that. Time blocking is, you laugh, but it's true. These are the conversations I had with myself. Now, if I don't have my calendar, I literally walk around like this. And I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing because I'm so reliant on it because it is a tool for my success. So the minute I have a system, the minute somebody needs something that I can't do right here, it goes into my calendar. Whether that's a reminder, a phone call, or a meeting, right? So if you all get a message, let's use Eric. Eric's like, Shanna, I need to meet with you to discuss such and such. Well, I'm not in a space till I can get to my calendar just yet. So I'm gonna hold off that message. I'm gonna say, Roger that. I'll get right back to you with a time, which I'm sure I've said to you, haven't I? And you're still sitting, waiting patiently. And I did tell you we would talk about it today, right? It's real life, friends. I want to make sure I follow my system, so I'm not gonna address that until I'm in front of my calendar and I can plug it in and we can agree to a time. Otherwise, what happens? I've double booked myself, because if you've all ever seen my calendar, it is a monster. But it's every single thing, every part of my day is accounted for. Everything goes in there. And then guess what goes in there first? What's the first thing I put in my calendar?
Big night.
Yeah. The most important things, my family, my big why, right? So my son's practices, my daughter's work schedule, things like that, those are important to me. So those are the first thing, everything else gets worked around it. Except today, the poor girl's homesick and I'm here. Totally fine, I don't want what she has. She can go to urgent care later, I fed her all the drugs. All right, this makes sense? All right, tell me you heard something good today. Give me 3 ahas about anything that we've discussed up to this point.
You have a question about the capping thing. Does that start when on your first transaction? Okay.
Yeah, the capping thing.
But
not region billing.
That starts on your second month. Because it's paid in arrears. Does anybody remember what paid in arrears means from real estate school? Yeah.
Can we look that up somewhere?
Paid in arrears?
No. Agent billing.
Can you look it up?
Can you find out how much you have?
$100.
They send you a bill every
No,
month.
they just charge your account.
They'll send you the
Landon.
invoice.
He sends
Landon.
you the invoice and you have to pay.
Oh, you have to pay it? I
Yeah.
thought it's
All
automatic.
the.
I have a card on file for mine.
My car is on
I was
file
gonna
and
say, I
I still
need to
have
figure
to,
out if I have a card on file, I need to see it.
my car is on file and I still have to click pay.
Oh, okay, ask Landon. So again, I don't
did, he
handle
said
it.
that's just a mechanic thing, you don't have to do anything with that email.
Mine is automatic this time.
Yeah, I think you just have to let them know it's automatic, I'm pretty sure, but write this email down, KLRW 369@kw.com. Whose email is that?
Landon.
That's right, and what does Landon do?
Hey, you.
He pays you, he's the money man. If you got questions on P&L, contract to close, any of the money stuff, KLRW 369@kw.com. I'm gonna write it down. Still can't believe this pen attacked me publicly, humiliated. All right, so plan for learning. All right, so being learning based, we know that that's part of the 6 personal perspectives, right? I think this is
Your capping time starts when you hire.
Yeah.
No.
And then it goes for a year from that date. So if you cap within the first 6 months, then you have until your hire anniversary to enjoy 100% of your commission. That was something that I found out talking to Corey about the capping. It starts with your hiring date. So like
What's your anniversary? Yeah.
your anniversary. And so everything that you sell during that time goes towards capping. If you cap early, then you get to enjoy that until your anniversary date and it starts over again.
Yeah, it's not January to January. It's your date to your date. So if you came in August and got hired on in August, it goes August to August.
Sorry, I just thought that was important.
No, it is important. It's things I kind of forget about. Hello, we're wrapping up. We're good to go. Anywhere you want to be. All right, so being learning based means you need to learn more about your market, okay? You got to preview homes, tour neighborhoods, understand the amenities in the neighborhood, understand the differences between new construction, different builders, different quality, different everything. Understand any kind of codes or anything like that. Oh. Sorry. Is it important to go preview vacant homes?
I had a question. I was kind of felt, yeah, hi, I'm back here now.
Hi.
Back here.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
So previewing the homes, like obviously the vacant homes, there's a house I was interested in looking at just because I wanted to look at it, but I feel weird not having someone to look at the home.
Oh,
with.
no.
I go in all the time.
Okay.
I'd be like, ring, ring, ring. Hello, Ray. Is this you?
Yeah, this is right.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Hi, Ray. Hey, this is Shanna over at Keller Williams. I saw you had 123 Main Street listed. Would it be all right if I popped by and previewed it?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Can you do me a favor?
Sure.
When you're done with it, can you let me know what you think of the property?
I would love to. I would love to. It's as simple as that. If it's vacant and it doesn't say call ahead, just go in. You're good, but they're gonna want feedback, right? So give them the feedback, but always be kind. We don't need to be crazy. A lot of times that feedback, I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story. That feedback goes back to the seller if they're set up on like showing time or something like that. We had an agent who thought the feedback only went back to our office and left this very funny, awful feedback that went straight to the client. And that was a really uncomfortable conversation.
There's Broker Bay and Showing Time, and those are a little more complicated. It'll say for showing, schedule for Showing Time or Broker Bay. Yeah, or it'll say Black Box, vacant, go show, or,
Yeah, the showing instructions will be on that MLS, but yes.
and LA stands for listing agent.
So call LA. Call LA does not mean call California. Call LA means call the listing agent. Their number should be on there. And if their number's not on there, you'll have to look it up via Flex. VLB, vacant lockbox, just go. Appointment first, call first. Do not go until you've gotten the go ahead. Call then lockbox. You just have to notify them and then you can go lockbox it. Make sense? The reason I always say vacant homes and not owner occupied is because do you really want somebody to have to leave their house, remove their pets, change their schedule because you want to go look, wait for the open house. Okay? All right, so something I want you to think about, and we're just gonna wrap this up. We will go through this. I will call a meeting in order for just us to go through this again. Okay, is that fair? Because I think we want to get to this party, don't we? On page, no page. 13, is that 13 probably?
Yes.
What that looks like, it's a learning plan. It's a growth plan. It's where you can start to put in the classes, the trainings, the podcasts, the books, activities, vacations. You start to line out what your year looks like, right? So things to think about. We've got Bold coming up. Bold will cost money, but I tell you what, Bold will also be very beneficial. It's a great investment. We'll talk more about Bold later. There's the 6 personal perspectives and there's Quantum Leap. These are all about mindset and activity. So if your business is missing mindset and activity, those are the kind of classes you want to go to. All right. The next one for mindset and activity, or excuse me, for Command is Command Your Business. It's online. So through Command Connect, there's lots of on-demand learning from KWRI and for us. If you're looking to get better with your smart finances, there's Profit Camp. It used to be called Profitability Agent Financials. Now it's called Profit Camp. That will cost money, but there might be something online. And then you will get business planning clinic. Every October, we do a business planning clinic here. For hiring, meaning you're starting to think, when is my first hire? What should that look like? It's career visioning. It can cost money, but sometimes we do bring it local here for you. We try to keep all the costs as low as possible. Usually if there is cost, it's for the materials provided, okay? For sales skills, there's Connect videos online. There's the group coaching, right? All of these things will help you with that. Train the presenter, that will help you be better at presenting, okay? Win-win negotiations, diversity, equity, inclusion. We've got the color real estate, unconscious bias, and agent of distinction. So there are all kinds of learnings available through KW. I would venture you to go outside of KW and see what kind of outside industry learnings are available. Plus the GSBOR, and NAR does all kinds of stuff all the time. I took a comp class from NAR. Colossal waste of money, but I learned 1 or 2 nuggets, right, on how to better comp things. It was still worth my time, okay? So that's what I need you guys to do, is start thinking about what your next steps are, okay? So what I'm gonna do is there's gonna be like a post-game recap where we'll get back together as a group if you can. And if not, I'll video it or whatever, and we'll go through the sales contract together as a group. And we'll go through your learning plan to see where things are. How's that sound?
Fantastic.
How was the last 20 days, friends? Was it worth it?
Yes. Very.
Did you enjoy it? You know, you guys did some big things. Big things. Let me tell you what some of these big things were. I gotta find my email from her. I had your homework calculated.
I'm sorry, I did not get that.
You don't get to be on here. I'm just kidding. All right, let's see.
I didn't send that to you as often as I was supposed to. Sorry.
All right, so let's look at this. We added 254 contacts to our databases. That's a lot. As a group, we had over 437 conversations. This is a small group. Look around. You guys are the ones that did the homework. The only person missing is Natalia. You guys made 152 comments on social media.
You have to comment.
You sent 173 private messages. Somebody's like, it was all me. I did all of it. Right? 44 posts were made and 106 handwritten cards were mailed. We've got pieces of business. We got a buyer who went under contract and is pending. We got a person who listed their home and pended it. We've got $1 million listing coming up. Doctor such and such is gonna get a dang house, I tell you what, right?
One of these days.
We got listings coming on the market. That's so impressive. So this is the next 30, 45 minutes is for us to celebrate, okay? So Cindy is here. Cindy, come over here.
Thank you.
I love this lady. I love our vendor partners. This one right here pours into our team, pours in, shows up, comes to events, wants to donate time, money, all kinds of things because she wants to help us, right? So Cindy is with Great American Title, my favorite title company. I say that openly because what is your tagline?
Home of the boring closing.
Boring closes. I love nothing better than a boring close. I don't want surprises, and they've got great communication. I have worked in this industry for over 9 years, and they are my top-notch go-to.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm not saying you have to, but give her a chance, get to know her. She's here to support, right? So Cindy, tell us just a little bit about who you are
Thank you.
and what you're doing here, and then I'd like to introduce you to the group, and more people should be coming down here any minute.
Cool, thank you, thank you. All right, let me tell you who I am. I do not care where you close. I do not care how much business you do. If you have a question about my industry, I want to be the one you call. That's who I am.
I have questions.
Well, darling, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. No, I've been doing this for like close to 35 years, the same thing. And most of that in a different state. I'm new to the state. So there's marital law. I came from a community property state. So there's marital law here, a little bit of difference in those nuances, but really it kind of works all the same. So I just want to help educate you on the process let's say we have a great relationship and let's say you're sending most of your business to me. And then you end up at a competitor of mine, you're closing and you're not having the same experience. I still want you to call me and let me help walk you through that because I understand what the process is. I understand how to help your file get attention it needs if you're not getting the attention you need. I understand really sticky, messy problems and is it being addressed easily and quickly and what is the quickest path to the solution? So I'm just a great sounding board. And I never, like, we're the very best. I happen to think we're the very best, but I also think we need to be in a very cooperative spirit, right? And we're here to work together. And I don't count the number of transactions. I don't look at you and say, okay, you're only good for 3. I don't do that, right? I'm like,
Susan's like, I'm good for way more than that.
but but to me, you know what I mean? Like people will look at you like I don't do that. You guys, I love the real estate agent. I have served you for, like I said, 35 years now. And I don't know, you're just like one of the most special, but you and pediatric nurses are like 2 of the most special groups of people on the planet because you're doing it all. You're being friends, you're being psychologists, you're being marriage counselors, and then eventually you get to, oh yeah, I'm a realtor too. You are completely serving and it's so selfless and just to be a part of that means a lot to me. So that's who I am. Great American Title's been around for over 30 years. We have a single owner, like a lot of our title companies just have single owners here. We're in that same situation. We have a list of underwriters that we actually send the insurance to. I want to make sure you understand really what title insurance is, how it works. You think you know, but I want you to be able to explain it to someone, not in detail, but so that you understand why it's important. So I want to meet with you. My counterpart, Christy Norris, you'll see her too. She's the young, good-looking one. And she and I both just partner on everything together. And she has a real estate background, so she understands where you're coming from. Builder, she understands, was married to a builder, so we understand the situations you're in. And we keep realtor hours. You need to talk to us late at night. You say, I really need to talk to you tonight. I'm gonna talk to you. So it's here to serve. It's here to help you understand how a transaction starts from beginning to end, so that regardless of where it's closing, regardless of whether or not you're using your transaction coordination team or not, so you can keep your buyers and your sellers informed and happy and moving forward. We are the T-crossers and the I-dotters, I believe, of the industry. We're gonna wanna fix it. And I have got so many stories of the small little things that mess up a transaction and add weeks to getting it cleared because the guy before you didn't do it right, And got one right now. They didn't use the right deed. They had a trust, they didn't use a trustee's deed, they used a warranty deed and they did it themselves and they didn't use title insurance and they took it to the county to record it. And it is such a mess. We've got like 3 weeks of mess before we can even get to the closing. So we've got to clean all that up. That's the kind of stuff we do. So I'll come in here like, I don't know, we offer title classes, but we can just get one-on-one and show you how to read a report and show you what that information means, show you how closing operates. So regardless of where you are, you'll know whether like, this isn't the service that we should be getting or this is amazing service. You'll be able to know and lead your clients through. And that's what I want to do. I just want to hold your hand and we're here for you. And I brought food and some champagne.
Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you. So big clap for Cindy.
That's the other thing I'm good for. I am good for good food and drink.
She is good for that. Cindy, would it be okay if I put your number up here?
Yes.
All right, Cindy, and I can't spell your last name.
So Cindy S. and GAT, G-A-T, Great American Title.
She's a GAT girl.
I'm a GAT girl.
Is it 417?
417-470-1724.
1724. And I'll tell you what, I've had deals where I've had to call and just say, Cindy, I don't know. This doesn't sound right. What do you think? And she's always gone out of her way to help me get us to the finish line.
I just had something like that. Because I just don't understand what they're trying to tell me. And I had my financial planner call and say, I've had a client that just lost $600,000 with Brand X on wire fraud. And
ooh, listen to this. Hold on. This one you want to hear. I'm sorry, how much money to wire fraud?
$600,000.
$600,000 to wire fraud.
Now, in my opinion, if you've got $600,000, you probably have a lot more money than that. And if you have a lot of money like that, you probably should be a little more sophisticated with money. But he opened his email and he found wiring instructions and he just used those wiring instructions. Well, that's not how it works. Wiring instructions are under lock and key in our industry. You can only get them through a portal or a secure email or in person. And if you're getting them any other way, let's assume they're fraudulent. Let's go talk to that company about their security practices. Because if their underwriter found out, they'd be shut down. It's that important and fraud is that prevalent. So she was telling me, Cindy, this is what happened. What's our recourse? We want to sue the company. And I said, back up. I said, if everyone followed all the right protocols, that company's not at fault. What was missing was the education piece about how to manage wires and how to manage wiring instructions and how to educate your people. And that's the kind of stuff we want to bring to you so that you understand if you receive wiring instructions in your email, it's probably fraud and it should never come to you. And it should certainly never go to your clients that way. So just little things. So I told her, I said, here's what I would do, and hire the attorney and subpoena the email records and go through and make sure that they followed their protocol, make them prove that. Work with the underwriter because the underwriter will hold them accountable and send a nice firm letter from the attorney and get started in this investigation. And they were able to recover. They found out the title company was not at fault. And they were able to recover about $250,000 so far. But I don't know.
Crazy though,
If you're a
right?
multimillionaire, like it's your money. And I think I've talked to a lot of buyers about that this is your money, guys, and we're gonna help keep you safe, but it's your money, call and confirm. And so those are the kinds of conversations we're gonna be having when we get together. Okay, this always scares me. Is anyone good at this?
Well, I can send it that way down
You do
the
it?
hall.
We have anyone? Mike, do you do this?
All right, so I have for Noah. He has the great honor of finding out. Oh my gosh. Oklahoma. All right. Congratulations. We're gonna do this with right now. Let's put that up. Come on up.
In front of the screen.
In front of the screen.
When there are clouds,
Congratulations.
you get
Sure.
tears and sorrow.
Thank you. All right.
Smile may be you'll see the sun come shining through.
Congratulations, you just Jackson. Jackson.
Light up your face with gladness. Hide any trace of sadness.
Avery. Hey, I don't even say that loud. And the cutest boy ever.
You must keep on trying.
So hold it like this.
Smile, what's the use of crying?
At the screen, let's come over like a couple.
You're still alive, still worthwhile. You just smile.
Natalia's not here, so we can pass hers. Ron Parker. Ron Parker. Oh my God. And Ray Kittle. Ray Kittle. Oh, here's the grad Eric Brown. Eric. Winner of writing contracts, by the way. No way. Yes, he is.
Light up your face with gladness.
And Italians. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, for a picture. You guys are cute, guys. For a picture. For a picture.
Never so many trying. Smile once again, crying. You say the love is
We like each other, like you just spent the last 20 days together.
Now let Jackson go back.
Oh my God. Give me the back, you're telling everybody.
Get out there. Ready? I don't bite.
Hi.
Okay. Hey, thank you guys. Nice. So proud of you. All right. These are actually season. I'm so excited for it. I'll go.
Yes, thank you, Shannon.
Oh my God. Come on, you're so, I'm so excited for y'all. I knew you were so good.
Add.
No, you're so excited. This doesn't get party started. I don't know what does. So all of you like newly licensed or have you been practicing for a while or?
Starting with Florence.
You have been.
small town girl. Took midnight train.
They're gonna transfer. They go transfer.
Layer of ice.
Born and raised in South
Hashtag learning. Yesterday.
Yep. Hey.
It's all right here. Yeah.
wine and cheese.
I have a modeling company now.
You know, that's knowing how it operates, but that's not necessarily.
Yeah.
We can work with other people.
I've done one for yeah, but definitely different. There's everything on the other side of it. Yeah.
We're not making all the
Yeah. And then minding your tongue.
My son just got and so when you help him out, and then he doesn't understand.
Very informative. Thank you for for 25 years. I would get that in the chain, and so we just kind of move along, and you need to stay focused on what you're doing.
We don't ever take it, we don't- but it's something so small. It's all part of your. Okay, I'll do that.
And it can wait. No, not yet. It can wait. Now, what we can't wait on are like. But the problem is, you're not. And like I told my son.
Are you kidding me? And so it's mine, like, I equate my
Happy birthday.
And if you stay in something like that, we're gonna starve the others. Gotta have the.
Mike, you're like.
What are we doing today? And there's something so I think I actually. And they really know what
Yeah.
Back at it, are you, Ray? What's funny, I got married young, but the way we decided to get married, my mother-in-law, I was gonna play spelling song. And I said, and he said, that's like Sam. Be like, oh, elementary, like, thank
Yeah.
And so, and then I had to learn to write it, like, I had Smiley, which was like a great last name.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Who could
yeah.
remember Smiley?
Right, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I love that. But I got to keep my initials in ACS.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's funny. How long have you, like, brand new, or you've been doing this?
Pretty.
What'd you do before?
probably about 25 years.
Here in the area,
It's pretty
so you know everybody.
Some people like, I
You
don't.
might know where the bodies are buried, that could help you.
That's true.
So you're gonna list with me,
Cat might-
you know, the guys you didn't give a ticket to.
That's true, true. Those people probably remember. Thousands of faces, like-
But no, I just think that, you know, there's just so many.
Yeah,
Really know everybody.
yeah, that's true.
Definitely out of the city, the areas, the better areas.
I mean, that's the big thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen this out, this road before. Wow, this is a good place.
Yeah, I don't know if Because, you know, whenever I had Spire Ride, I would never look at the map.
She can't take you
They're like, I have no idea where we're at. No, you're not.
And you've got mass. You can't sign yet, we're gonna serve you up for how long?
Yeah, right.
And so what is, are you also?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to pass that out. Thanks, you guys.
So what does that look like? Do you have to?
Honestly, I worked with my best friend. And I'm like,
There's different ones that have different skill sets.
You've been enjoying just a sample of what Pandora has to offer. Sign up for your free account now to keep the music playing.
I usually just try to talk to people that have like a concert, so I figure, what you see in the show? Find out if I've got, at the end of one show, they change something, and it was like specific stuff, I'll just go, provide you with some contacts, yeah. So like, I've got a pretty good like HVAC guy that shares his experience as well. It is bizarre how they do it. Yeah, I've been working with Erica, doing so That's the one where they have.
Some of them wanted a
She said, I don't know if I've ever been good enough. I'm a little bit rusty and I think my head is caving in. And I don't know if I've ever been really loved by a hand that's touched me, and I feel like something's gonna give. And I'm a little bit angry. Well, this ain't over. No, not here. Not while I still need you around. You don't own me. We might change it. Yeah, we just might feel good. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna push you down. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna take you for granted. I wanna take you for granted. Yeah, I will. She said, I don't know why you ever would lie to me. Like I'm a little untrusting when I think that the truth is gonna hurt you. And I don't know why you couldn't just stay with me. You couldn't stand to be near me when my face don't seem to wanna shine. Cause it's a little bit dirty. Well, don't just stand there. Say nice things to me. Cause I've been cheated, I've been wrong with you. You don't know me, yeah, well I can't change. Well, I won't do anything at all. I wanna push you around. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna push you down. Well, I will. Well, I will. I wanna take you for granted. Yeah, I wanna take you for granted. Yeah, well, I will. Oh, but don't bowl me over. Just wait a minute. Well, I kind of fell apart. Things get so crazy, crazy. Don't rush this, baby. Don't rush this, baby. I wanna push you